This time on iRate Garage, I'm putting my plow truck into summer mode. Let's get to it. Since it was chilly this morning, somewhere I want to start is I'm going to buzz test the truck. I'm going to use my Icon T8 to do it. A buzz test isn't exactly something you can do with just any scanner. Your typical little pocket scanner doesn't have the capability. I know a lot of guys like to use Scan or something like that, and honestly, I have tried and I've never had it work. So I picked this up. There are cheaper options. There are cheaper things that'll work. Let me get this set up and then we'll do a buzz test. So eventually you get to this point in here. What I end up doing is clicking System Selection, Powertrain Control Module. Give it a second. And you come in here, it's actually under Read Trouble Codes, which is kind of funny. And then key on, engine off, injector electrical self-test. This is your buzz test. It's saying don't be stupid. And then the ship has sailed on that one. Here we go. So what that was is all 8 injectors, and then it's going down each injector and buzzing it one at a time. So 1, 2, 3, and so on. And if you noticed, 7 was sounding rather weak. That confirms my suspicions. On a cold morning, this truck will shake when it goes into lockup, and that is a classic indication of a bad injector. It can mean other things too. And it's a little chilly this morning, and in reality, that's what you want to do. This truck actually passes a buzz test if it's pretty warm out. This is the first time I've actually been able to get out in the morning when it was chilly. And chilly, it's like 40, but that's cold enough to make something like that apparent. In reality, for this truck, and for me, it's not that big of a deal. I always plug this truck in the winter. Once it's warmed up, it's fine. We'll see. We'll see if I end up actually doing injectors. I've been nursing a bad injector on this truck for about 10 years. And I know you can run the Stiction Eliminator, Hot Shot Stiction Eliminator, or even, what was it called? Arch Oil or something like that. I've done that. It hasn't really helped. A note on a buzz test: just because your truck passes a buzz test, if they're all loud and they all sound healthy, you can still have a bad injector. The buzz test only tests the electrical side and the oil side by extension. It does not test the fuel side. If the fuel side on your injector is buggered up, this test won't tell you that. So what do I mean by putting this into summer mode? Basically, I'm going to take all the plow-related gubbins off. The lights, the pump, positive side, this cable from the solenoid. Basically anything it doesn't need in the summer. I got some work I want to do to the truck. I got some work I want to do with the truck, and not having this stuff on it will make it better. I also don't really like driving it around all the time with the plow stuff on it. If you get in a wreck, that will mess some stuff up and make things worse than they have to be. I'll grab some tools and we'll get into it. So first thing I like to do is start with these cables. There's these little screws that hold the cables in. I'll go ahead and loosen those up. Really, before I do anything else, these are your deal breakers. If these little screws don't come out, you're kind of stuffed. We also have to open up these plates here to actually get the cables out. Put this little thumb screw thing on here. You really don't have to get these tight. They just have to be snug. And the thing about undoing these every year or two, or every couple of years, is it helps keep them from getting stuck. Especially, I have a stainless one in here. This is an aluminum case, and the steel screws will get stuck. You don't want to get too carried away with these. I have my impact set to the lowest torque setting. It's very easy to break these off. And really, I just do, for this guy, the top two. I just undo, take the two out, leave one in, and then I can knock that plate out, and it just stays right on there, like so. Same with the big one here. In a later video, I will do a whole thing on how I approach pump maintenance. Notice how I'm not actually like beating on them. It's because they weren't really all that tight. So as you can see, this isn't exactly high technology stuff. I'm gonna unplug the solenoid real quick. If you start messing with these things, in theory, the pump can engage, and we don't want to do that. So I just unplugged my solenoid. I got a kind of just a little connector on there just to make it easier. All I gotta do is pull them off, and typically these come right out. Of course today, because I'm filming, I need a little persuasion. Well, that one doesn't want to come out at all. What about you? Oh, that one comes out. That one will come out because it's a good boy. Little love. Chances are we'll be replacing those O-rings in here. Wow, that one's really not wanting to move. Figures. Always when you're filming. There we go. There we go. See all that white powdery stuff that flew out of there? That's the white death. That's the corrosion on the aluminum. And it reacts with the steel and gets stuck. I also want to go through the pump. It's been good, but I want to take it apart and clean it and make sure everything inside is looking good. And I like to do it do this kind of stuff in the spring, so I get a feel for what it needs, and it gives you a little more time to track stuff down, save money. Now I've already disconnected the positive cable from the solenoid. I don't want that solenoid to accidentally kick on and have a live wire floating around under here. That's kind of asking for trouble. Those threads feel a little rough. Some of these newer motors, these posts will actually move around a little bit. That's just fine. Just try not to let them move around too much. I'll clean up the threads. There we go. If you pull on them, they kind of, whoops, you knock all your shit down. But if you pull on them, they won't want to spin quite so much. This is my little ground wire I added. So you got two big bolts, one here and one underneath. They are 1 1/16 inches on one side and 1 1/8 on the other. I like to bust them both loose and then take the one in the bottom out first. Seems to just kind of work easier that way. They're big, but they're not tight, so they should come off just fine. It's just down there at the base. Nothing too complicated, really. There we go. Now this pump will just sit here when I pull this bolt out of the bottom. There we go. All right, and then this guy just pulls out. Gotta get the weight off it. There we go, just like that. And then this is free. I'll Don't put your fingers. Oh. Let all your shit fall on the ground. I'm gonna go ahead and just pull this out. I ain't too worried about the ground cable. Just gonna roll her up and get her. So, just did the other side. There's some newer lights are pretty nice, but it's got like a little clip. Just get that loose and come apart pretty easy. Plastic's breaking down a little bit up here. Whoops. Yeah. So that's less than ideal. These lights are easy to take off. It's just a couple of bolts. I like to replace the bolts whenever I have them apart because they get rusty. Oh, still on its low setting. There we go. There we go. There you go. That almost got you. Still not used to working around a camera. Oh, hopefully that string isn't making a bunch of noise on the mic. I guess we'll find out. There we go. See, those get pretty chowdered up after a couple of years. So, usually a good idea just to replace them. Rinse and repeat on the other side. This is all I do over here with these cables. I just wrap them up, zip tie them, cut the excess off, call it a day. Flush cut pliers. Do that and make it safe. Otherwise, they're just leave a little sharp bit and that's death. There we go. Swap the tailgate real quick. I like this style tailgate for my plow truck because I can actually see when I'm backing up. It's like any other tailgate, one side at a time. All right. There we go. The dogs didn't like that. They're barking pretty bad. And that's basically it. Now it's just cleaning out the truck, hosing it off, doing what I call a wellness check. And that's what that buzz test was earlier, was part of the wellness check. I was hoping that the injectors had come around, and I think largely they have. I'm going to keep driving it, and hopefully that clears out. I doubt I'm putting injectors in this. The reality is this truck doesn't pull a trailer. It doesn't get driven all the time. I've owned it for 10 years, and I think we've put 20,000 miles on it, so it really isn't like the main machine around here. But it is an important one. When it's not a plow truck, it basically turns into what I would call a glorified wheelbarrow. Hauling hay, moving posts. I'll run it to town, you know, every couple weeks or so. You know, I bought this truck cheap a long time ago and have tried to do the bare minimum to keep it going. And this truck is almost a testament to letting things slide. But I have also done a lot of work to it. And we'll cover that in a future video, because buying the cheapest driving 7.3 sounds like a good time. It sounds like fun. And it's not a bad way to go necessarily, but it isn't always the cheapest way to go. You do end up putting some money into it. And I think we'll cover that in a future video. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. If you want to see more, give it a subscribe. Till then, guys, be safe, and I'll see you next time.